Hey there, Mike Holmes here. Just giving a little quick video. I'm the Reach Keep guy, and you're at the Better Sundays podcast. So, no fancy introduction here. Just want to talk for a few minutes. Been spending a little time with my family. My wife and I came over to Laramie, Wyoming, to see the Wyoming Cowboys play a football game, and we took another church family with us from another church, and really had a nice time. I'll try to stick a picture in here of a football game. We won the game, so there's what's important for football anyway. But I wanted to just spend time with you for just a moment, talk about something. There's many times in church work that there are things that we think are really important that are not important, and there's things that we don't think that are important that are important. And I cannot overemphasize that sometimes we just get it wrong. We tend to think of some of the spiritual things and the theological things and all that as the really important stuff, and it's right to be right theologically and know all that stuff properly. But there's also, when we're reaching new young families, and that's kind of our primary purpose here that we teach at the Reach Keep Academy, and many of you are in the academy, and I appreciate it. And our enrollment is not open right now. You can learn more about it at reachkeep.com/academy. You can learn about it, but it will be opening up for enrollment again, but it'll be a few months. We got processing a bunch of new students right now. But one of the things that we teach is just to really pay attention to little details. And we stopped by a store after we left the football game and got through all the traffic and that kind of stuff. And in fact, my wife is still in the store. Went in there to kind of check things out and kind of take a look at things. And I don't really want to mention the store, but I stopped by their bathrooms there, and little things are important. We'll just say that. The bathroom was atrocious. It was not that it hadn't been cleaned, but like the toilet paper dispenser was broken and just had a toilet paper thing on the top, and the paper towel dispenser was broken and had toilet paper to use for hand towels. The soap thing was gone. There was trash on the floor. There was spray bottles of chemical stuff on the back of the toilet, so like a little kid could come in there and go and spray it in their eyes, or do something. And if you don't think stuff like that happens in the church bathroom, you got another thing coming. They get 2-3 junior boys in there. You'll find out anything that's squirty can be squirt. Even those spray pumpers. If you hold them just right, you can cover a mirror pretty fast. You can squirt soap all over the place. All of that kind of stuff can happen in a church. On top of that, the door handle had kind of like a funny door handle. It was mounted upside down, so you had to kind of grab the handle to pull it backwards. It was just really strange. Now, I say all that to say that was a little thing that's important. The important thing to them is that they sell their products, and I'm sure that they do okay with that. But little things can make a difference, and it's kind of the thing that I want to talk about, is that sometimes we can get caught up in thinking about big things, and we only think about big things. And believe me, you got to think about big things. I mean, you got to think about your doctrine and your sermon and your application and all that stuff. But it takes sometimes the little tiny details to make sure that you're properly reaching and connecting with people, because for some reason people remember tiny details. I probably wouldn't necessarily come back to a store like this. I wouldn't come here anyway, because I'm not the shopper in the family, but things like that would turn me off. And if someone comes to your church and your bathroom paper towel dispensers are not working properly, they'll remember it. It's uncanny, but that's just the way it is. They will remember that kind of thing. They will remember that there was no soap in the little pumpy thing. They'll remember that there was chemicals there, because they probably have kids, and their kids have got into squirt fights with squirt bottles with chemicals that shouldn't be squirted in each other's faces, and they think about that stuff. So this was not a family-friendly store in any way, and I would never bring my grandchildren or my children to this store because of that very thing. And people remember the little things. So often the little things become the big things, and the big things, okay, don't really matter. This particular store, you can probably find other stores similar to it in the community here, and it's not exclusive for what they sell. So you could go somewhere else, and I will go somewhere else. I mean, that's what happens. Now, the cure, okay, and I like to make sure that we get the cure to these things, that we solve problems. Every Sunday, solve a problem, and we liked every podcast solve a problem. Every YouTube video, solve a problem. The key is really found in 2 words, and it is something that will take you much further than you think, and it is a little thing that will become a big thing for you. And those 2 words are conscientious forethought. Conscientious forethought. In other words, planning ahead, that's the forethought, but really thinking things through ahead of time, and where people will interact and what they will do and all that kind of stuff at your church will take you a long, long ways. I'm doing some webinar training on this called How to Impact Fast and Influence Better. And you can find access to that website to that webinar. It's at reachkeep.com/impact. And in that particular video, we talk about conscientious forethought and the idea of this planning ahead of time is creating, as we talk about all the time, this fertile landing ground. If someone is going to plant a field, and I come from soybean country, and we plant a lot of soybeans and milo and corn, different things like that, the forethought is for work. In other words, you're there in the fields way ahead of time. You put the fertilizer down, you till, you plow, and you disc, and you get everything kind of ready, because the real thing is coming. The seed is going to get dropped in the ground, then it's going to grow. But so much of work is done ahead of time. Now, in church work, so much of the leading of the sheep, as well as the feeding, is done ahead of time. With feeding, it's very obviously, you study, you memorize scriptures, you kind of come up with illustrations, and you're going to feed the flock of God. But leading the flock of God is also done ahead of time with conscientious forethought, if you're a wise leader. And we want to be thinking ahead of everything. Where people walk in, is the temperature right? Is the bathroom clean? Is the clutter taken care of? Are the chairs set up? Are they pointed the right direction? Will people be comfortable in our service because of temperature, because there's boxes of Kleenex around that they can use during cold and flu season? All of those kind of things. And they say the devil is in the details, and I obviously don't care for that statement. I think the success of God, I think the blessing of God in many cases is in the details, because people see that you thought ahead. People see that you are conscientious, and those 2 things, when people recognize that in you, the leader, when they see that you're a person that is thinking ahead, I'm telling you, they are attracted to that. That is a character-driven thing. They want their children to be that way. They want their spouses to be that way. And you as a leader need to display this conscientious forethought and be thinking about everything. And it's like, well, I didn't go to seminary to do bathrooms, okay? No, you didn't go to seminary to build a church either, because seminaries don't teach that. They teach how to, exposit and take apart the scriptures and look at them and all that kind of stuff. They don't necessarily teach you how to work with people at some of these places. And that's what ReachKeep is for. That's what, ministries like ours are for, to help you work your way forward in the working with people. So if you are a pastor or a leader of a church, absolutely you need to walk in the bathrooms. Okay, absolutely you need to go in the nursery and make sure that it's safe and secure and sanitized. Absolutely you need to make sure the chairs are set up. Now, if you got other people, and you can delegate some of that, once you kind of get further along, you have ministry teams that help you with all that, that's great. But if you are a smaller church, you do all that stuff. you prep the sermon and you get the music ready and you coordinate all that stuff, but you also need to make sure that everything has been thought about ahead of time. So very, very important principle. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. Had a moment here in my car, waiting. We're going to be in a church here in the area tomorrow, and just looking forward to serving the Lord with gladness. That's the way we do it here. But if you would like to know more about our Reach Keep Academy, it is a training ground for conservative, Bible-based people that are really trying to reach new young families. That's the reachkeep.com/academy. Just type that in, and there's some information about that. And actually, I think now you can actually sign up and get on the wait list, so that you can, next time we open it, we'll get you the information right off the bat. And by the way, the people that go in there early on the wait list, we give you a coupon for a big discount. So you might want to make sure you get on the wait list. That would be important. The other thing I mentioned is a webinar that we're doing here, and we're trying to make that webinar so it's accessible around the clock and not just like one time a year. The one time a year thing is great, but it's like I really need to teach some of this stuff more often, and we're making that accessible, and that's at reachkeep.com/impact, the word impact, and you just put that in after the reachkeep.com and put that little slash mark and get to that, and that'll help you out. So anyway, this is Mike, Wyoming Cowboy football fan. Go Cowboys. We won today and are excited about that. I hope your football team won wherever you are, if you even care about football, which is not really at the top of the list, but it's kind of fun to do family stuff every once in a while. So God bless you, and we will catch you the next time here at the Better Sundays podcast at reachkeep.com.